Today, I really want to help all of you improve your credit. Like the thing about credit is it's always moving, right? Like every day you could check this and you could have one little thing that shows up. I know people that, are paying all their bills on time. They have their bills on auto payment. And yet for some reason, some payment they moved or something like that shows up and now they have a late payment on their credit history and their credit score drops by like 140 points. Why is that important, right? Like why is having a credit score that's really healthy above 720? Because like in this world, every time you try to buy something, like if you're using credit, like if you're buying a car and your credit score is low, you're going to pay more interest on that car. Same thing happens in business and in real estate, right? If you're buying your first house and you want to invest in real estate and your credit score is low, you could get denied. You also could pay more interest, right? So in this business, where we really make the money in this business is when we leverage our third partner, which is the bank, right? So when we can leverage the bank's money and lower our interest rate, the lower our interest rate is when we buy these properties is really the gap. That's the margin that we make. There's a lot of myths about having credit, right? There's a lot of bad information out there about credit. Over the years, I've helped almost 5,000 students repair their credit. I'm pretty excited to say that number. That's a huge number to be able to say that I've helped almost 5,000 people fix their credit. I want to share a few things that really impact your credit, right? We mentioned one of those things earlier, and that was late payments, collections. Sometimes it's not your fault, but sometimes you get into a situation where you weren't able, it's a medical thing, or you missed a car payment because some bills came up. Like that's why I think it's important to have credit, right? So you kind of have that safety net, right? If you're financing it and you miss a payment, yes, it affects your credit score. That's fine. But like it's better than losing everything, like because you can't afford to make a payment. Like if you put everything into cash, like if you went out and bought a vehicle and put all your cash in it, and now like you can't pay your normal day-to-day bills and put food on the table, like I think credit is a great emergency fund. If I used to think like, hey, I need to have 3 paychecks in the bank at all times to make sure that I have an emergency fund. Well, credit can be that second emergency fund. And it's really easy to get if you just take a few steps. But if you do go down this road where you have a mistake, where you get a late payment or a collection, there's companies out there that can remove these by doing what's called dispute letters. The problem with dispute letters is they're not always guaranteed, right? Like you can do a dispute letter, you can send it out, but a lot of times you won't get a response for that. Like sometimes, even though you did all the paperwork, sometimes the credit card companies just won't like reply to it at all. And you won't get and you'll still have to pay these credit repair companies the 200 to a couple $1,000s. So I literally give these things away to people for free. I know that even if you follow all the steps, there's a slight chance that you may not have success with them for whatever reason. So I'm going to drop a link here in the chat box. So if you have any like late payments or anything like that, you can use these for free. Same letters. It's a template. It's super easy. Just go in, download them, fill them out, and you can send these things in if you have late payments or collections or anything like that on your credit history. Now, again, if you are able to get these things removed from your credit report, these things can last 7 years on your credit history. So one late payment today could take 7 years to fall off your history. I would definitely suggest that you go ahead and take the actions now to go ahead and start trying to get these things removed. The dispute letters, they don't always work. These letters are the ones that every company out there typically uses when they're trying to dispute these things for you. After these dispute letters, imagine like because you have one of these things on your record for 7 years, that means for 7 years, you're going to be paying more interest on anything else you finance, right? Your house, your car, even your auto insurance bill, and even utility bills are more expensive when you have a low credit score. Now, if you're trying to rent an apartment, I know as a landlord, I typically pull my tenants' credit scores. And if they don't have a good quality score, then I'm definitely going to rent to the person that has been making their payments on time. Their credit history looks like it's in order. So not only do banks look at this when they're lending to you for getting finance, but also like landlords will look at this stuff too. And I suggest that you guys look at your tenants' credit if you guys are going to be renting to people in the future. But the next big thing after these dispute letters is credit utilization. This is something that really impacts a lot of people when they're using credit. Again, the big belief is that I don't want to use a credit card. Like having one credit card is all I need. Well, if you only have one credit card, you're really impacting your credit utilization when you start to put things onto that. The other thing is like if you max out that one credit card, your credit score again is going to be really impacted by that because that means you have no available credit. And it looks like to lenders that you don't have the finances to be able to pay for any other financing. If your credit is maxed out, most banks, credit card companies won't finance you, and you'll get denied for more credit. You'll get denied for a home loan. You'll get denied for an auto loan, or you'll have to pay more interest and get a cosigner. So credit utilization is really super easy to fix if you actually take the right steps and you follow the right system. 4 ways to fix this. One of them is to pay down your card, right? So keep your credit utilization below 30%, ideally below 10%. And what that means is that if you have a credit card with $1,000 available credit, do not use the full $1,000. Like, that's the ceiling. But what they're really doing is they're testing you to make sure that you're staying responsible on this. So really, you can only spend about $100 of that, up to $300 on a monthly cycle. You don't want to go much more than that on a credit card that has $1,000. The other option is increasing your credit limit, right? Go back to the bank. You can do this every 6 months. So you can go back to your credit card company and you can say, hey, bank, I've been with you for 6 months. I have some big purchases coming up. I'm making more money. I'd like to increase my credit limit. Some credit card companies do hard inquiries to do this, but some don't. But again, when you increase your credit availability, what you're basically doing is you're actually decreasing your credit utilization. And by decreasing your credit utilization, you'll increase your credit score. Pay down your loans. And then the second is increase your credit limit. The third way is to open up more credit cards. You can actually open up more credit cards and that'll give you more available balance. Now, I suggest you do this because there's a lot of benefits and a lot of perks to doing this. One of them is 0% interest for 12 to 18 months, right? Can you imagine having $25,000 to $50,000 of available credit at 0% interest, free money? If you're fixing and flipping houses and you're using like 6 to 12 months, you can put the money on a credit card and still take the draw from the lender and have that money sitting on that credit card interest free while you paid off the house. When you open up credit cards, 0% interest, 18 months, new sign up bonuses. So if you have excellent credit and you open up a new credit card, they will pay you up to $750 for opening up a credit card. To me, that's free money. It's low-hanging fruit. But not only are you making money, again, when your credit score is increased, you're saving money on your interest and long-term debt. Free hotel stays and free flights, right? So you get travel perks and hotel perks and all these other things. So if that isn't enough reason for you to fix your credit, there's more. The fourth way, right? So we have way number 1 to fix your credit utilization is to pay down the debt. Number 2 is to increase your available credit, right? Ask for a credit line increase. Third way is to open up more cards. Now, I don't suggest you go out and open up 10 cards at one time. Like, you don't really want to open up more than 6 in like a 2-year period, right? Like, so you can open them up every 3 to 4 months. You don't want to open up too many cards at one time because you'll start getting declined. And then the fourth way is what's called an authorized user or a trade line. Now, these things are so powerful for like kind of giving you like a jump in credit, right? If you're getting ready to go out and buy a vehicle or finance a vehicle, this is just one of those things where I wish people would ask me first before they did it. Like if they had bad credit and they're like, oh man, I'm going to go buy a new car. This way you can either get friends and family members to add you on as an authorized user, or you can actually purchase a trade line from companies like Tradeline Supply. So if you're in the market to buy a car in the near future, or even apply for an apartment building to rent, and your credit score isn't where it should be, you can go out and get maybe your parents, friends, or family member to add you as an authorized user, or buy a trade line and be added as an authorized user to improve your credit score. Now, this kind of also works when you're applying for more credit cards too, right? So if your credit score is in like the 600 to 700 and you're trying to actually get that next credit card, you can get added as an authorized user. And the reason this helps is because, one, it shows credit age history, and the other, it shows more available credit. So those are just kind of hacks that you can do to improve your credit utilization. So besides dispute letters and credit utilization, again, at the end of the day, like if you guys are in business or you're looking to go into investing in real estate and use that as your full-time business or even a passive business credit is the ultimate goal, right? Because with business credit, you can get access to millions of dollars. And I'm not joking, literally millions of dollars because you have credit. I can't spend $1 million a month and wait for that to come back. But I can spend the bank's money at 0% and have them pay me, 1.5% every month. At 3 $7.5 million run rate. Like right now, we're making $30,000 a year. Like Walter said, like $30,000 a year in cashback rewards just by using Bank's money. The other benefit is with business credit, not reporting to my personal credit score. If you go out and put $50,000 on a personal credit score, right? We talked about this. It'll lower your credit utilization and lower your personal credit score. But if you have a business credit card and you separate the two between business credit and personal credit, when you do that, that doesn't report to your credit score. When they first get started in a business, they're funding that from a personal credit card. And that really, it's okay to do in the beginning as long as you kind of keep those expenses separate. But when you move it over to a business credit card, your credit utilization starts to come down and it increases your credit score. And again, when you are building business credit, you can actually take a business credit card, and if you are doing a fix and flip, you can actually finance properties with these 18%, 0% interest credit cards. Now, this is for entertainment purposes only. You know, I don't suggest anyone else goes out there and does this, but there's a company called Plastique. Plastique will actually send your closing department a wire from a credit card. But if you spend, 3% to finance the down payment, like from a credit card that's 12 months interest free, you can really get some leverage on one of these properties. So I don't want to go too far into detail on that. Really, what I just wanted to do is kind of share a few different strategies on how you guys can improve your credit. Now, business credit doesn't happen overnight because it is more difficult to grow. It's not like you can just kind of go out there and start building business credit. There are sites like nav.com, nav.com, where you can kind of track where your business credit is. Also, I suggest that if you have an LLC, get a Duns and Bradstreet number, because that Duns and Bradstreet number is where these companies are going to start reporting to it. Ethically, I want to give those things away for free because at the end of the day, you have to send them in. You have to do the work. And even if you do all the work, it doesn't always work. But inside my credit repair training, there's a lot of different ways that you can actually fix your credit score. We actually go over the 5 different things that impact your credit score. These sign up bonuses, I have lists of banks, business banks, and credit cards. Like there's over $10,000 worth of sign up bonuses inside the credit repair blueprint training. If you go through this training and fix your credit, you're going to save thousands of dollars on interest. And then also you're going to have access to $10,000 worth of sign up bonuses. You pick and choose, right? If you're opening up a business, an LLC, go in there first and then pick one of those codes and one of those banks, whether it's Chase Bank, TD Bank, Bank of America, or Wells Fargo, get that sign up bonus. It's free money. Inside there, I actually did just add, I was originally selling this guide for $300. I do work with businesses on a one-to-one relationship, and I charge $3,000 to help them build their business credit. But I just added inside there the ultimate guide to building business credit. Like I said, I usually charge $300 just for that PDF. That's inside there too. So I don't know if you guys are in a situation or a position where you're interested in building your credit or anything like that, but I will drop the link to the course in here for you guys that are interested in it.